flare that could have caused a catastrophic electromagnetic pulse, or EMP, barely missed Earth about 2 weeks ago, according to a former member of the Congressional EMP Threat Commission. Peter Vincent Pry, who served on that commission from 2001 to 2008, said that the event, called a coronal mass ejection, could have inflicted damage comparable to the 1859 Carrington flare, which was so severe that it caused telegraph lines in Europe and North America to melt.
I want to share with you some information here that it's kind of slipping under the radar. Not many people are paying attention to it. When FEMA and DHS make a move to quietly buy up emergency food supplies and ask how much they can ship within 24 hours, he thinks it's enough to raise some eyebrows. And he wants to know what's up. I mean, just like everybody else, you may not have heard about this. Share this. Tell other people. We've all heard about the threats, the warnings, and all this other stuff. But now, behind the scenes, quietly, and he says that they want to do this quietly, FEMA emails him wanting to know the breakdown of everything that you can think of. All the servings, the number of currently available meals, how many do they have in stock right now that they can ship within 24 hours? Dedicated truckloads by the pallet, how many pallets by truck, full capacity, all within a 24-hour period. This is what they want to know, DHS and FEMA. You know, what does this tell you? They're making moves. They bought all these billions of rounds of ammunition. They got the underwater body bags and the coffins and the FEMA camps, and they're spying on us and tapping every single thing we do. Now they're going for the food, the emergency food, and they're going for it now.
This is Dr. Dennis, and I want to welcome you to this special presentation. It's probably the most important that you will ever hear, because it affects all of us, everybody in the world. And I just learned about that issue this morning, and I thought we better get some information out to everyone and put it in archive so you can send your friends to the site, have them update themselves. We are talking about, folks, a major event that has been suppressed through the media and through all information outlets. I have with me a specialist who is totally knowledgeable. I'll ask her to explain her background. I want to turn the time over now to a specialist who has considerable expertise, enough to impress me with the background and the knowledge that she has regarding this event. Folks, I can't urge you enough to contact your friends and family. Let them know about this immediately. Time is of the essence. In fact, we are out of time now to prepare for this. Okay, please proceed. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you. My name's Patty Broussard. 7 years in the military, former sergeant, missile systems, communications, satellite uplinks, that sort of thing. Did a lot of work for NASA, as well as places like Lockheed Martin, Polaris, and whatnot. Built robots, all that. We currently have inbound our second sun. We are a dual sun system. Our second sun, it comes around every, 32 to 3,600 years. There's been a cataclysm. That is why the remains of the pyramids and whatnot have been left behind during each successive. There's been 5 of them that we know of. Anyhow, our second sun is inbound with 7 planets. Now, NASA said was true. The sun is not going to come into system. In other words, it's not going to come in and plow into planets or anything. What it is going to do is it's got 7 planets, and their orbits overlap ours. And this needs to be prepared for as best you can. The dust that's being pushed ahead of it's already hitting us. And when it ramps up to enough of an impact, like it's doing to Mars right now, we're going to lose our electric grid. So if the electric grid goes down, we lose all our nuclear power plants. You need to prepare for that. Basically, it's underground or under earth at the minimum. The reason for
You're
that
talking
is
about surviving this event. We need to go underground or under earth, okay?
The reason why is a pole shift has already started. It's going to complete during this event that's coming up. August is the month that things start getting really bad. They say August through November, roughly. But it's going to be 6 years of bad times. The reason why you need to be underground or in a cave or something of that nature, when the pole shift goes, we lose our magnetic shield. That means UVA, UVB, UVC coming directly from the sun, full blast, just like it is on Mars right now. It's going to be hitting the surface. You don't want to be out in that. As will microwaves from the sun.
Question, why have not we been informed about this?
50 years ago, NASA informed them of this. They built dumps, deep underground military facilities. They have enough room for the elite and the government. They've been building them for 50 years. That's where they're planning on hiding. And the heck with us. And they've been storing food and oxygen. And the past 2 years, they've been running the plants that make nuclear fuel rods to power their domes. So they're going to leave the public on their own. Right now, as of today, they are stationing our troops around their dome entrances. And they've brought troops in from Israel and from Russia to deal with the public, because they won't be afraid to shoot at you. Do not riot. That's what they want. Obama wants to institute martial law to round up any people who protest and put them in the FEMA camps. That's what they were built for.
So they've known about all of this for a long time. They've prepared for themselves, and they're planning the extermination of the rest of us.
They want 500,000 people. That's on the Georgia Guidestone that they built. And they want complete, utter control over whoever's left, which means getting chipped.
Chipped meaning putting one of their chips in us, neck or otherwise, so they know where we are.
They know where you are. They know a lot more than that, which I'm not even going to get into this because it's not relevant as far as mind control and all that. They have that ability.
Okay. So you were going to go into evidence of how you know all this is occurring.
I have access to just about every satellite we have in orbit. And I remotely took over an entire observatory and used a telescope and took pictures. NASA took pictures too.
So we can
including
see
the
things coming in the sunrise and sunset.
Mm-hmm.
But by the 11th, you say we're going to have all of this radiation and everything coming, so we won't be able to go outside. The power lines will be broken. All electricity will be off.
The link I gave you to Spam 3D, that's the only place right now I know of that's doing live tracking is Europe. And we have stuff coming in right now.
Okay.
There's 12 stations there that are monitoring the atmosphere, and they're picking up debris coming in already. This is not particles. This is the bigger stuff, like Mars is getting bombed with. It's already starting to hit us, as in right now.
Okay, so what should we do now?
Prepare,
Build
food, water, and get under either concrete or earth. Stone, earth.
How deep
Preferably
underground?
with earth over it, because earth absorbs radioactivity and everything like that as well. Because when we're losing the power grid all the nukes are going to end up just like Fukushima.
So let's move on to now. Is this 100% sure going to happen?
Yes.
There's no getting around it.
No, I've also posted all the NASA employment and everything. They've been letting people go left and right so they could go prepare. The ones that do not have a seat in the dome got let go, so they could go and dig a hole and build a concrete style, bunker. But not in the ground.
Is this why they're pulling the ambassadors out of all countries?
That's where one of the government's gone wrong. They've built these really deep bunkers. The mountains that run up just to the west of the Midwest is where they've put primarily most of their bases. You don't want to be around them either, because they're gonna be crushed, and you're probably going to end up with massive sinkholes with a nuclear blast, because they're running nuclear power systems in those.
So what should we look for on the 12th?
Drinking water.
But what's going to happen is as the dust and impacts our atmosphere heat up, you're going to lose sight of the sun. Every place is going to be clouded over until it gradually builds up momentum and electrical charge. At that point, it'll start, you'll have lightning bolts coming down everywhere, destroying things. The poles will go on fire and things of that nature. Right now, before it gets too bad, at sunrise and sunset, you can see these planets inbound around the sun. Do not be vocal about what you have. And the recent laws that they've passed since January, effectively, or so they claim, gives them the right to come in and take everything you own. All your food, your car, your house, everything. That's why the laws that got passed about making it illegal to have gardens in your yard.
Yep.
They don't want us to survive.
Now, my daughter lives in Tampa Bay, Florida. She's right on the beach. So that's going to be totally flooded, right?
That's going to be totally flooded. It's going to be gone. It's going to go underwater and stay underwater. I've also posted maps that have already been issued to the United States Navy. That's how sure this is. They actually printed the maps up and issued them to the entire U.S. Navy of what's going to be underwater. Only I think it's going to be worse than what they projected.
Everyone listening to this, be prepared for updated information as we go along, and stay tuned for your own survival. Thank you for listening. And thank you to our guest speaker, Patty Broussard, who has all the knowledge and research put into this to save us time.